ever stumbled over a line or what you're going to say, or feel like mid-message you lost your train of thought, you don't know what to say? There's a whole bunch of guesswork going on, and oh my gosh, this video is supposed to be 2 minutes and it's actually taking me 2 days to shoot. I have got the secret weapon for you, and it is called, my friends, a teleprompter. But no, just don't slap your screen up below your camera and start to read. There is a technique. There's actually some skill that goes into this, and that is what we're diving into today. So let's dive into which teleprompter you should use. There's a whole bunch, but really there's two when you're shooting from home or your office that are applicable. One is a portable teleprompter, which is what I recommend. And then there is a software-based teleprompter, which is a nice backup. Let's dive into what both of them entail. The first is the portable teleprompter. So a portable teleprompter is compact, it's small. It's designed to be used with a smartphone, like I'm shooting on now, or a tablet, or even a DSLR camera. They come with a hood, something called a mini reflective glass that attaches to the camera and then reflects your copy onto a smartphone or a tablet screen, and it goes right up in front of the camera. So you can actually be reading your copy while you're looking right into the lens. Portable prompters offer convenience. They're very flexible to use. You can set up and you record your video anywhere. You could be in your office, you could be on location, you could be shooting outside. They're really beneficial for content creators who want to use a smartphone or a really lightweight camera for video production. So you're not lugging around a giant camera. You want to be able to shoot on the fly. The second is a software-based teleprompter. And a software-based teleprompter runs on your computer, your laptop, or your mobile device, and it basically turns that device into a prompter. So they're apps that show you the script on the screen, and then obviously you can read that while you're recording or while you're presenting or whatever it is that you're doing with the teleprompter. They're very versatile. They're super cost effective. Some of them are free, and they can be used with whatever device you have on hand. So whether it's your phone or your tablet or your computer or whatever it is, it's very easy to use. And they are very flexible when it comes to script editing, customization, and then the ability to save a bunch of scripts on your device and then use them when it comes time to record. The one issue with a software-based teleprompter is that the words do not scroll in front of your camera. So you are either looking off camera to be able to read to the side or below wherever your lens is, or you're stopping and starting and doing a lot of jump cuts, which is fine. It's actually a nice editing technique to keep your video moving. But if you want to be able to read from top to bottom while you're looking at the lens, the software-based prompter is not for you. So now that you have a good idea of what sort of prompter you want to use or you need to use, let's talk about installation and setup. Number one, your portable teleprompter. What you want to do is attach your portable teleprompter's hood or the glass onto your camera and align it with the lens. Now there are some that slip right over the back of your laptop, and you can use your internal or external based webcam. If you're using a larger teleprompter that you're going to use with your smartphone or your tablet, you want to put that smartphone or tablet with the teleprompter app on the mount and then obviously secure it there. You want to adjust the position of the camera and the prompter so that you get the right angle, you get the right visibility. Generally speaking, you want your camera to be at or slightly above eye level, just a little on the side. If your portable prompter allows you to adjust the font size and the scrolling speed, you want to customize those settings based on obviously your preference and your reading speed or your reading comfort. Now, one quick tip, and we get into that in some other videos that you'll find coming up. Most people have a tendency to read scripts a little bit more slowly than they do when they're ad-libbing. If you can, keep that prompter going at your normal rate of speaking speed. So usually for most people, it's somewhere around 3 words a second, but it'll take a little bit of practice. There are teleprompter apps that have words or scripts that will sort of follow your voice through AI and will scroll. They actually do still tend to be a little bit glitchy. There are ones that you can actually use a clicker and scroll the script yourself. If you're interested in purchasing one or the other, you can find links to them in my VIQ gear bundle, which will be linked in the comments below. All right, let's talk about how to install your software-based prompter. So you want to use a software, obviously, that suits whatever it is you're going to be shooting on most often. There are plenty of softwares that work on any sort of device that you want to shoot on. Install the software, launch it on whatever it is that you're shooting on, and then you want to connect another display or use the same device for your prompter, display, and your camera recording. That is what I recommend if you are going to do a software-based teleprompter. Put that display in a position that makes it easy for you to read. Adjust the font size, so larger, brighter, usually better, and obviously the scrolling speed in a way and speed that's comfortable for you. And then you want to familiarize yourself with all of the features that this software has. There's text formatting options, there's color customization, there's script editing capabilities. We'll get into all of that as we dive a little bit further into this series. So now that you have your teleprompter set up, let's dive into some tricks and tips on using it effectively. There's 2 other videos that have to deal with reading conversationally and marking your scripts to help you do that. You can find them here. The first thing that you want to do is familiarize yourself with what it is that you are going to be reading. So read through that script beforehand so you understand exactly what you're going to say and you can improve your delivery. The key here is to read it out loud so that it's comfortable and that you catch any of those unintended tongue twisters or words that you don't quite know how to pronounce. Reading them in your head silently to yourself does not do the same thing. It does not have the same effect. Break the script into smaller sections so that it's easier for you to move through and it's easier for your viewer to understand. You also want to highlight or format that script so you can emphasize important points or important cues. You want to set the right scrolling speed, the one that matches your speaking voice, not your reading voice, your speaking voice. Again, it's going to take a little bit of practice, but most people speak a little more slowly when they are reading from a script, which means your audience has the opportunity to lose interest much more easily. You do not want to do that. Check out some of the different font styles, the sizes, and the colors to make sure that it's easy for you to see and obviously easy for you to read. And then customize the background color so that your eye strain is reduced and it makes it easier for you to see the text. I think personally that having a black background with large capital letter white font is the easiest to read from. Now that's sort of standard operating procedure in the news industry, and it's because you have anchors and reporters who are sitting at news desks and reading teleprompters for hours and hours on end. That setup is usually the one with the least eye strain. Next one is maintain eye contact. That's the whole purpose of the teleprompter. It's so that you can read the words as they are scrolling right over your camera lens. It's why using a teleprompter can make shooting videos so much easier and so much more efficient and effective. Plus, it takes a little bit of the nerves out of it as well. By the way, it's not just good for social media. It's great for presentations. It's great for video podcasts. It's great for all sorts of stuff. You want to focus on engaging with your audience and creating a connection, and then use natural eye movements and gestures to enhance your delivery. We'll talk a lot more about how to speak comfortably on camera in this video coming up. Number 4, practice with that teleprompter. Practice using the teleprompter so that it's easy and familiar to you. You should practice using that prompter. Don't just set it up and expect to dive right in, because you do want to get familiar with how it is reading words that are scrolling and then maintaining that natural flow as well. So I would suggest recording yourself using the teleprompter and then take a look back at that video and see what you can improve and where. and then gradually make things a little bit harder. You don't want your scripts to be complex because that's the only way that your teleprompter skills are going to get any better. Experiment with different delivery styles, with different pacing, different intonation. All the while, the tricky part is that you have to maintain synchronization with the teleprompter. Number 5, pausing and scrolling. When you're using a software-based teleprompter, you want to familiarize yourself with the pause and the scroll. You can use those pauses, sometimes called the power pause, very strategically to allow you to emphasize key points, allow for natural breaks, the way that we might pause or slow down or speed up when we are talking to someone in a one-on-one spontaneous conversation. You want to master that art of scrolling things smoothly and adjusting the scrolling speed as you are delivering. I find it easiest to keep the words that you're saying either right at the top of the teleprompter or just one line down. That way you have a little bit of context where those words and those thoughts fit within the larger picture of the words and the thoughts around them. And then practice using those pause and those scroll functions so that you can maintain a steady pace, that you can maintain a steady rhythm. The whole point of shooting a video is to create a connection with your audience. And if you sound like you are reading a script or delivering that script to a wall, you will have lost the audience from the very start with no hope of getting them back. Let's talk about troubleshooting and tips, because trust me, you don't want to depend on the prompter when you have no idea what you're going to say or how you're going to say it. The teleprompter is not an excuse to turn your brain off. It is just there as a way to make your delivery a little less nerve-wracking and perhaps a little more smooth. Let's talk about number 1, which is calibrating your reading speed. You want to adjust the prompter's scrolling speed based, as I said, on your speaking pace. Your speaking pace, not your reading pace. One way to do that and get good at it is to start with a slower speed and then gradually make it faster as you get a little more comfortable, as you get a little more proficient. You want to pay attention to your delivery. You want to make adjustments to that scrolling speed if you have to. Also, using those teleprompter accessories, there's some great things out there that make all of this a little bit easier. So like a wireless remote, I mentioned that to use to scroll through your script. The teleprompter hood or the shading device so that you don't have light reflections on the teleprompter glass or see what's going on behind the teleprompter because it's not fully enclosed. And then you want to make sure that your teleprompter and your camera are balanced and secured so that there's not any shaking or movement or wobbling as you're recording, especially if you're moving around and you may be causing some vibrations on the floor. Avoid over-reliance. Avoid over-reliance. Like I just said, this is not an excuse to turn your brain off. It's just a way to make sure that your message gets out exactly the way that you want it to, with a little less nerves and a little more efficiently, i.e., a little more quickly. What I like to suggest, especially if you are delivering something live, is to have your scripts not just on your prompter, but written in paper or on paper next to you. And the reason is that, and trust me, I've been there, every now and then that prompter is going to go out. And if you are relying on what it is that you've written to know what you're gonna say, you don't wanna be caught with your pants down. Now you know how to choose the teleprompter, how to set a teleprompter up, and the basics about using one. We're gonna dive more deeply into script writing, script marking, and on-camera delivery in the next video. I'll see you then, and thanks for watching.